just while that's coming, what a hard act to follow. I'm definitely going to be asking you afterwards about that research, because one thing I'm really keen to kind of bang the drum on is we need more research in this area. We really need to understand the context that we're working in. So, I am going to be talking to you about the Artemis Alliance today and the work we're doing in Armenia in particular. We've got lots of great work going on in Georgia, but I'm going to let my colleagues speak about that from their point of view, and Eliza is going to speak from Poland. Fantastic. So Artemis Alliance, we're an international network of women and LGBT plus CSOs, and we work to counter gender and identity disinformation, all with the aim of building social cohesion and resilience against malign actors' interference. We work in 3 countries, and we do 3 things. We increase understanding of GID and how to counter it. I think there's still some educating and some positioning that we need to do, even within the disinformation fields, about kind of that GID is a tactic of disinformation, and we need to kind of see it as a really important thing to be addressing. We build local partners' ability to challenge, adapt, and to respond to GID, crucially, safely, and effectively. And the third thing we do, I'm going to be focusing on this today, is we deliver insight-led local interventions that increase awareness of and resilience to GID amongst target audience. And why do we bother? Why are we here? Why are we all in the room? We want to be working towards cohesive, democratic societies where everybody, not just women, not just LGBT plus people, but everybody, because they're all affected by GID, can participate fully, free from polarizing divisions and malign actors' interference. We agreed when we were planning this panel that I would give an overview of GID, which I think we kind of broadly all agree with. And there are 4 components. The first, it's deliberately spread false information that targets people based on their gender, gender identity, and sexuality. Crucially, it's for political gain. So that's what separates it from hate crime or from discrimination more generally. Its aim is to discredit and silence people from the LGBT plus community and women. It exploits social norms about gender and sexuality. And social norms to us are basically the unwritten rules or behaviours that we all follow in a society. If you don't follow them, there'll be some negative reaction. And social norms are being exploited in order to really cause polarization, to cause chaos in a society. That's the aim of the narrative. I'm so short, I can barely see the bottom of the screen. And why does GID kind of happen? What's the impact of it? Yeah, it targets civic participation, it undermines it, it threatens individual rights, and it has real-world violence, like we heard a second ago. So, let's go to Armenia. I'm going to set the scene a little bit here. Very high levels of GID, mainly found on social media, more commonly so, but still very present on traditional media. The main GID narratives that we see are around family values, LGBT plus rights, and around the security situation, which is ongoing. And the consortium, the Artemis Alliance consortium, have done a lot of research understanding what social norms kind of are featuring in each of the 3 countries. And the 3 that I wanted to talk about here, and are really present in Armenia, are perceived gender equality. Women have it just as good as men, if not better, actually. Women's role in society, kind of whether they should be in leadership, absolutely not at all. A focus group discussion described women in leadership as equal to being the devil. They should be at home as a wife and as a mother, but also working and bringing some money home. Yeah. And the last one is around anti-LGBT plus attitudes, which are really strong in Armenia. And the reason we undertook this research was to make sure that we're really tailoring every intervention and every exploration into how to counter GID. And I'm going to share 2 examples. I forgot to put the timer on, but keep me going. The first one. A CSO in Armenia undertook a project looking at women's role in leadership, hoping to solve the problem that GID is exploiting gender social norms and really limiting women's ability to hold leadership roles across all levels of society. The project aimed to increase understanding of and resilience to GID in a number of target audiences. In GID victims themselves, women in regional areas of Armenia who are very susceptible to and vulnerable to GID, and to decision makers. The project had two main components. The first was a targeted social media campaign featuring interviews with women in self-government roles who had been victims of GID. And these women expressed kind of what it was like to be targeted by GID. They named the fact it was GID, and they talked about how they overcame it. So it was quite hope-based. And this was followed by a really interesting campaign led by vloggers and influencers speaking in Armenian dialects, talking about the issue, but using humor, using levity to really reach audiences that might have been kind of shut away or pushed away from this kind of difficult to hear topic. The second component of this project was media monitoring to understand where are these GID narratives taking place, who are the platforms that are allowing or enabling or spreading this, along with a legislative analysis exploring how the law in Armenia could be used as a lever to combat GID. So what are the outcomes? The project finished about a month and a half ago, but early outcomes, hugely successful campaign. In a population of almost 3 million, the campaign reached 1.5 million people. Of those people, we surveyed kind of a small portion of them. 90% said the stories were inspiring and applicable for their own situation. Audiences are understanding that this is GID, and they're kind of realizing this is happening and it exists in Armenian society. The media monitoring work was picked up by the public radio and in an outlet you can see here, Media AM, and it's informing upcoming work. And we're really excited about this because we need research, firstly, to be created, but then to be used and really tailor our interventions. Okay, second example I wanted to share was a national campaign which is reaching the last week or two of its run, which basically tried to address the fact that women are largely absent from peace-building work in Armenia, despite the fact that there are a number of huge experts in this area. Women might be asked to participate on a voluntary basis, so they're not getting paid and they're not getting credited. The campaign aimed to reduce the impact of GID narratives that frame women as unsuitable for these roles in peace and security. The campaign tried to target disillusioned idealists. These are mainly women who don't feel like change is possible. Armchair experts, so mainly men who think that they are expert or more expert than these women. And male politicians who would need to be kind of bringing women into these roles. And what the campaign really aimed to do was to challenge people to question those assumptions they might have held on women's expertise in peace and security roles. Campaign was pretty extensive. It was a fully integrated attitude change campaign across TV, out-of-home, so posters, and a follow-on media outreach with female experts, so TV interviews, print interviews, and opinion pieces. But rather than me explaining the campaign to you, I thought I could just show you a 60-second video. So I'm hoping if I click to the next slide, it will work. But maybe you could press play for me at the back. How's that working?
It's working.
Ah, there we go. It's in Armenian, so don't worry if you can't hear it. You can see here that it really played on the assumptions that you're making at the start. This is going to be the man who's the expert. I mean, I also had the same opinion when I first watched it. But it's a gentle way of bringing people in and kind of, in a surprising way, kind of showing you the difference. If I click it again, I think, there we go, fantastic. So the outcome of the campaign, which hasn't quite finished yet, is going really well. So far, just from the digital campaign, 1.2 million people reach and 6 million impressions. Posters that you can see on the right-hand side there are all across Armenia. And we managed to reach the target audience, which made it so impressive and so exciting that there was such little pushback. This is a contentious topic. It's very difficult to talk about the security situation in Armenia. So little pushback and high levels of positive engagement. Those surveyed said that they saw that increased agreement of including women in negotiations leads to lasting peace being more likely. And also there was an increased online advocacy for women taking up these roles. So final thoughts from me before I hand over. We definitely need to be seeing some more collaboration here. We need more collaboration in the disinformation field generally, and then within our field, we really, really need it. And we need people coming at this from different points of view, bringing their different skills, and making sure that we can kind of move together to address this kind of ever-changing topic. Am I out of time?
No, you're good.
Okay, great. Research is key. So we need to be doing this research. We need to be kind of collating it. And that's why Artemis Alliance has the Learn and Consult Hub, as we call it. We bring in great research. I'll be talking to you afterwards. And we make sure that it's shared to the people that need to hear it. So if you have great research, let me know. We're also editing a special issue of the Gender Studies Journal. So if you've got great stuff there, let me know as well. There is work to do. GID is ever-changing, it's hard to define, and it moves constantly. And so we need to move constantly with it, and we need to keep our focus. We need to keep trying with advocacy and policy work. It's harder, but we need to keep going, and we need to keep learning and be honest with each other when things don't work. Otherwise, we won't really get very far very quickly.